What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Mass Effect Legendary Edition, specifically Mass Effect 1. So, EA did provide me a copy of this game. I want to make that very clear, obviously, in the beginning. Otherwise, I really couldn't make a video like this. So I do definitely appreciate it from EA. As you guys may know from other games I've covered, and this is one of the bigger games I guess I've been given, but any game that I get from developers, you know, it doesn't change my opinion on them, right? I'm not going in with just, I'm going to give the game 10 out of 10s and stuff like that. And this, by the way, isn't exactly a review. I kind of want to go over my thoughts on Mass Effect 1 and specifically talk about the enhancements that EA has made to it. I don't want to get too much into the background of what happened with Mass Effect and with EA giving out codes because I don't really know or think it's my place to do that, but people that got the codes for this game didn't get it all that far in advance, so I don't really think anybody I don't even think it's possible from when we got the codes to have beaten all three games by the time we're allowed to talk about it. Okay, I guess I can say something like that. So I've played Mass Effect. At the time I'm recording this, I've played a little less than 10 hours, but I'm trying to play, honestly, as much as I possibly can, and I'll be playing more today. So I played Mass Effect. I only played Mass Effect. I didn't play 2. I didn't play 3 because I thought it'd probably be better to tell you guys about the first game versus a little bit of all three games, because then I really don't have anything to say about any of them, you know what I mean? So final thing I'll say too is if you guys are new here and if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel, hit the bell icon, help push me to 50K. We're so close. We need a big push, and I think we're gonna get it. So again, if you guys are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Definitely helps the video out. Okay, I love it. I love Mass Effect. I've said this before, and this is important. I've never played Mass Effect 1. This is the first time I'm playing the game, and obviously it's under the new kind of shining light of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So look, I'm not going to go over like the base game, like the actual game itself, like the story and stuff, because if you guys have played Mass Effect, you know it. But I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. I like how it's set up. I just said I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to give a small summary. I love the characters. I love the introductions. I love where it's going. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, I love Mass Effect 2 and I love Mass Effect 3. Besides maybe the ending, I can nitpick it. I know people have big problems with Mass Effect 3's ending, but I think overall, those two games are absolutely phenomenal. And now being able to play one, like, it's good. It is legitimately good. And I probably haven't even gotten to some of the next level stuff that's going on in Mass Effect. But look, it's the full package. It's got everything. I assume Mass Effect 2 and 3 are the same way, but again, I don't know for sure, where the DLC is just very much integrated in. It's not something that you have to go to the main menu and there's like a DLC option. You can just play all the DLCs. No, the DLC is just put into the game, which I guess obviously it would have been back in the day when they were announced as well. I accidentally just walked into a DLC and just started playing it. I kind of thought like, this seems not like a story mission, but this doesn't seem like a side mission. Maybe this is DLC, and because I've never played 1 before, I looked it up and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm playing a DLC from Mass Effect 1, which is really cool. The game looks really good, okay? Is there issues with this game? Yes, there are. And EA has a patch. There's a day 1 patch that I believe my version, and I think anybody who got the code and is reviewing it, I believe we all got the day 1 patch in that code, just to, I guess, to make that clear. It doesn't fix everything. Honestly, I think there'll probably be another day 1 patch, or like a day 2 patch. So I do think there'll be another patch, but it does, I mean, I don't know what it would have been like without it, but it runs, I would say, relatively, I would even say better than relatively well. It runs pretty darn well. The loading is insane. Now, I'm playing it on the PS5. It's a PS4 version. It's only on PS4 and Xbox One, but obviously you can play it on PS5. There's no upgrade. There's no like next gen version, but like the PS5 helps out a little bit, which I do assume would be loading. Loading is so much quicker, which is amazing because actually loading in this game, it's not like every time you go into a door, there's like a new loading screen. It's not like Outriders, but there is a decent amount of loading. If you're in a kind of an open world outside area, you go into a small building where obviously you have to like do missions and stuff. There is a loading time to it, right? But it's very, very short. Visually, looks really, I'm going to be honest, I mean, it looks good. It looks good. It doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look like it was made in 2021, you know what I mean? But it's important to remember this is called Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but it's a remastered, collection. Now, again, I don't know how good 2 and 3 looks, but I would say, ballpark estimate, 1 looks about as good as 2 or 3 looked at the time they came out. And maybe that doesn't sound great to you guys, but I think that's around where I could put it. There's a lot of things that are very clear. The faces are a bit more distinct, right? Everything just has a more like a fresh paint on it, okay? Again, it doesn't look like, no, not Resident Evil Village is a beautiful game. The character models sometimes for like the cutscenes are they still look a little outdated, but it's a pretty, I would say, overall visually stunning game. This is not the same thing, you know what I mean? So don't go into it expecting that. But, you know, when people were saying that Mass Effect 1 is more of a like it's in the middle, but it's more towards a remake than a remaster, I do agree with that. I mean, if you go back and you look at what Mass Effect 1 was versus what it is now, there's very clearly a huge overhaul. Now, it's hard to talk about the biggest changes because I never played the first Mass Effect. So, like, I don't know how awful the Mako was to drive back then. I know what it is like now, and it's solid. I wouldn't say it's good. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I wouldn't say it's bad. I'm having fun with it. I honestly think there's like a learning curve. So like if you've never driven Mass Effect 1 version Mako before, then I think you're in for a small learning curve, but I think it honestly gets pretty okay after a while. So I would put it in the above average territory where it's like, okay, they're doing some pretty solid things. The gunfights, again, I don't necessarily know how they were, but I can tell you just from playing, again, like around 10 hours, the gunfight is a lot more. They talked about how like they're trying to make everything Mass Effect 3 pretty much, like the gameplay is all like that. That's exactly what it is. It feels very good. The covering systems are not, like, they're very outdated. They feel outdated, but I mean, you can kind of get over it. But the gunplay itself and how everything works in that regard feels a lot like Mass Effect 3, which is good because I do remember, you know, playing Mass Effect 3 and thinking, yeah, this is the way. Even Andromeda, which it's not necessarily Andromeda, but I remember playing Andromeda and I hated that game. Look, I was part of the bandwagon that didn't like Andromeda, but the one thing I loved is the gameplay. The gameplay of Andromeda, I think, is the best gameplay Mass Effect has ever done, in my opinion. And Mass Effect 3 is the closest one to that. So I think they did a really good job of updating that. I think they did change, like, the skills and the leveling. In fact, I do know the level system is different. You can actually play it in two different modes. One mode is the new leveling system where it's 1 through 30, or you can play in the old one where it's 1 through 60. So I'm doing it in the new one the game's new, so I want to try it in the new way. But yeah, I mean, I'm impressed. I really am impressed. I don't know how Mass Effect 2 and 3 look, but I can give you guys my like a guess for it, in that I feel like it's obviously going to be much improved. And to be honest with you, Mass Effect 2 and 3 again are already phenomenal games. Do they look absolutely incredible? No, but they look pretty darn solid, and so any uptick in them would be fine. I guess the one thing I want to make people aware of again is it's not perfect. It's a very, very big game, and because of that, and again, because of that day one update, there are still some issues. Shepard still does the cross-eyed thing from time to time, which I do think is kind of funny. Honestly, I don't even get mad at it because I just kind of laugh at it every time, but there is still that. There is occasional, and I would say out of the 10 hours, it happened maybe 3 times where the audio, so I like subtitles. My hearing's fine, but I like to just read it as they're kind of saying it as well. Sometimes the subtitles will happen first, and like the cuts of the scenes will make it seem like they were supposed to talk, and then they'll talk later, and like their mouth won't match the words because sometimes the audio will come first. So there's a couple sound issues. There's a couple dialogue things like that. But for the most part, I mean, everything flows really well. The ability of changing your weapon and getting from one place to the other. And again, the loading is very impressive because there are a lot of times where this game needs to load, and it goes very, very quickly. So I'm honestly really, really impressed by that. So I'm over, and again, like the game itself, you're either going to like Mass Effect or you're not going to like Mass Effect. You know what I mean? I guess at this point, you should know. But if this is your first time jumping in, like it's mine. That's kind of why I wanted to do this. It's why I wanted to play, because I've played 2 and 3. And would I have played 2 and 3 again if this collection never happened? Would I ever have jumped back in? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. But because this collection is out, like I'm going to go through everything, all the DLCs, 1, 2, 3, in order. I mean, that's my plan. I'm doing it right now, and I'm excited. And like, for one, this is my first time jumping in. And so for this to be my first experience with 1, I do think is like massively better. You know what I mean? I can't speak to what it would have been like in 2007 versus like if you played it back then and now you're playing it again, how much of a jump it is. But like from what I know and from what I've seen about that to where I am right now in 2021, jumping in, this being the first time I'm playing a game that's 14 years old. It doesn't feel 14 years old. It doesn't feel new. It doesn't feel like it came out this year, but it doesn't feel like it came out 14 years ago. You know what I mean? There's a massive amount of polish on this game. EA, I think, crushed it. To be honest with you, I know EA gets a bad rap, and sometimes they deserve it. Sometimes they absolutely deserve it. But this is a really good job, I think, at a remaster. Please give us more. Give us Dead Space. Give us all the other games that people want from EA. There are a lot of them that people have made lists on, so hopefully this kind of jumpstarts that. You know what I mean? So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. I'm going to be continuing playing it. I'm going to be continuing doing videos over the next probably week or so. Don't exactly know which videos I'm going to make or what topics, so if you guys have any that you want me to cover, definitely, let me know in the comments below. But I'm going to go straight through. So like once I'm done with 1, I'll start playing 2, all that stuff. We're going to be live streaming 1 tomorrow on this channel, on the main channel. Hopefully by next Friday, I'm done with it and I'm on Mass Effect 2, so we can live stream Mass Effect 2, and we'll go from there, okay? Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.